First question will go to Randy McElvoy with KPRC TV. Randy, go ahead with your question for Coach, please.
Hey, Kelvin, congrats again on a great season. I want to ask you just how much time do you give yourself to kind of sit back and reflect on the accomplishments? And second part of that is what are you going to remember most about this senior class that you had?
Well, I'm not there yet with the sitting back reflecting. I think about it sometimes, but we still have 3 weeks of classes before we start exams, and then we have finish up exams. Bryson and Justin are finishing up to get their degree. Then we got to make sure everybody else is all set heading into these last 2 or 3 weeks. And we always give them. We usually give our guys 2 weeks off, but the last few years, 2 years ago, our seasons are ending later and later, so there's not much time before the end of the semester. But what I'll remember most is how this team overcame adversity in so many ways. We knew Chris was going to leave, so we planned for that. We did not plan for Nate to be gone. We had planned for him to be back, so we had to make an adjustment there. We did not plan for Fabian not to be there, so we had to make an adjustment there. And then when the season started, we did not plan for COVID. Constant adjustment there. Did not plan for Caleb not to be here second semester, so we had to adjust there. But the biggest thing was, I think the toughest part for us was from December 1st until the first week in January, because we didn't know if we were going to be allowed to practice. Some days we get 2 guys back, and then 2 guys the next day, maybe 3 the next day, and then the day that 3 were going to come back, the 2 that came back the first day couldn't practice today because they had symptoms. So the month of that stretch when we played Alcorn State, Temple at home, Central Florida on the road, Tulsa on the road, SMU on the road, we had those 3 straight road games. And then right after that was a tough stretch for everybody. Coaches, everybody had COVID, seems like. We were all in and out. 6 guys at practice today, 8 today, and then 5 guys finished practice. It was just a rough stretch. And then it took us a while to get going. And then, but we lost a game, won a bunch of games, and then the other part was the stretch where we had the bad weather. That was unique to Houston. Now, if I were in Montana, that was not unique. Michigan, that would not have been unique. But what I remember about that trip was canceling the flight. We were going to cancel the flight and cancel the game. I remember discussing that. Then they said, well, we're going to send a plane from Pittsburgh. I said, well, what time is that going to get here? So our kids got here at 7:30 or 8 in the morning, and we didn't leave until late that afternoon. And then we didn't have any power or water in Guy V. Lewis, so we had to go over to Fertitta. We sent Bishop and some of the interns, managers to a grocery store. Couldn't get in, so they went to a gas station. We came back with gas station chicken salad, ham and cheese, turkey, potato chips, and honey buns. That was what our guys ate. So that was a rough trip. So, but everything we went through, I think, shaped us and formed us. But I'll remember the journey. Making the Final Four is a destination, but the journey that this team went through was unbelievable. All the adversity, and I don't even know it was adversity. Let's not call it adversity. Let's call it challenges. We had some challenges, but we never made excuses. We took our lumps, kept getting better, had the right attitude. This group let me coach them, let me push them, and that speaks to their character. A lot of high character guys, and very much appreciate this team. This team will always be special.
We'll go to Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle. Joseph, go ahead, please.
Kelvin, I'm curious. After the game the other night, you mentioned about what a season like this, a run, Final Four, the perception, how it can change from your standpoint when you look at moving forward. What kind of perception and do you look at in terms of the, whether it's maybe the upgrades that you want to do with the facilities or fan support or recruiting? I mean, where does the kind of the residual effect come when a program has this type of season and gets this type of national recognition?
Well, my perception does not change. If we had not gone to the Final Four, I would still be pushing for changes. I know how fortunate you are. Think about the Big Ten this year. All you heard was Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State. None of them made the Final Four. That's how special it is. And you have to have a little luck, good fortune, but you got to be good enough too. We were good enough. That's the bottom line. We were good enough to get there. But I walked around with Lauren today, and I had her take a pen and paper, and I wrote down things that we want to see changed. One of the things I loved about being at Oklahoma is I never really had year-end evaluations with Joe Castiglione. He would call my secretary and want to know if I was in. He would come over and say, what do we need to do to get better? And that's how I look at every year. Just because we went to the Final Four, that doesn't mean that, okay, now that we went to the Final Four, here's what we're going to ask. No, I was going to ask for those things anyway. You've got to continue to upgrade. We moved in this facility in 2016. Think about the people that are building theirs this year, what they have. There's been advancements. There's cutting edge stuff that we want to make sure that we stay up with. And we may jump in a plane and was the last NBA team. I don't really want to go see other colleges. College sometimes can be restrictive on that building because of different reasons. But the NBA doesn't have to worry about anything. That's usually where you get your best ideas. So I'm gonna find out what NBA teams have been the latest, have built the latest facilities, because those will be the best ones. And I'm gonna see what ideas that we can take. I may talk to Tillman, see if we can get his plane, see if he can go with us. Take Chris and TJ, our facilities guy, and maybe Lauren, some guys on the staff, and just see what ideas we can get. As far as recruiting, we're always looking for the best players that fit us. We start recruiting some kids, and then over time we realize, probably not a good fit, and we'll just, they may, still list us as a team that's recruiting them, but that doesn't mean that we're recruiting them. We've got a kid committed for next year. Probably in the next week or so, we'll add 2 more kids. We'll appear pretty soon, maybe before that, who knows. But I like the kids we have coming back. That's always the most important thing to me. Everybody wants to know who the new guys. They're never going to be as important as the guys coming back. Look at the guys we have coming back this year. Quentin Grimes, Dejan Giroux, Justin Gorham, Bryson Gresham, Marcus Sasser. Look at those guys. Look at Baylor's guys they had coming back. Look at the guys we have coming back. We have Marcus Sasser back. We have Tremont Mark back. We have Fabian White back. We have Reggie Chaney back. We have Jaywan Roberts back. Jamal Shedd back. Kieran Roberts back. We've got a really, really good class coming in. Robbie Armbruster, Ramon Walker, JVA Francis. Who Who am I forgetting? God forbid, who am I forgetting?
Those are your three recruiting
Okay,
classes.
yeah, so those guys are coming back. We'll say goodbye to those three seniors. Quentin is going to make a decision here pretty soon, but we expect him to be in the NBA next year. That's what I want Quentin. I want Quentin to get drafted. That's why these guys come here. They want to go play in the NBA, and Quentin's got a great chance. Cam Tyson, somebody's going to get lucky and get a really, really good player. So everything with us, we don't lose many guys. You see some schools lose 3, 4, 5, 6. Very rarely does a kid leave here. And I think that has a lot to do with the kind of kids we bring in and the culture that we built.
Are you in any hurry to fill that to fill Alvin's spot?
No, we have a handle on everything. We'll make Mikhail McLean's also going to go with Alvin.
Right.
So what is today? April the
8th, I believe.
Yeah.
7th, April 7th.
7th. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my biggest thing now is wrapping up this semester with our kids in the classroom. That's number one. That's been my biggest focus. Make sure Justin and Bryson finish strong so they can get their degree. Make sure the other guys are solid academically heading into the month of June. You just say, what day is it? What day did you say it was, the 8th? Or tomorrow's the 8th? Oh, good Lord. It'll be May here before you know it. But I'll get around to that. That's the great thing about our program right now. We're not in a hurry to fill any spots. Everything's, we've got everything on automatic right now. Everything's just kind of rolling along. We're doing what we do every year at this time. Making sure kids are strong academically, finish up strong, and then fill a couple scholarships and move on down the road.
We'll go to Mark Berman with Fox 26. Mark, go ahead, please.
Kelvin, can you put into words the pride you have in what you guys have accomplished this year?
I think the biggest thing is getting kids to play for each other, playing for something bigger than themselves. They all don't come in here like that. Every kid on our team has a story. They all have backstories. They all came from something. And the challenge you have is getting those kids to leave their egos at the door, understand that we're playing for something far bigger than any of them, and learn how to play for each other. That is difficult to do. That is the most difficult thing to do in coaching. The easiest thing to do is teach a play, or teach them an out of bounds play, or teach them some kind of tricky play everybody wants to run. Those are the easy things. But getting kids to play for something bigger than themselves, play for each other, and get them to play hard. Those are the three most important things in coaching. There's nothing more important than that. Because if you can get them to do those things, then anything is achievable. And that's what they did. And I think it started with our seniors. Justin Gorham, Bryson, Dejan, and Quentin. Can't leave Quentin out. Quentin made 102 threes this year. That's unbelievable considering this was the COVID year. But it wasn't the 102 threes, is when he made them. He made big shots. The difference in this year and last year is last year we lost a lot of close games because we didn't make a lot of big shots down the stretch. This year we made them. He misses 2 free throws against Rutgers. 3 seconds later, he's banging a huge 3 out in front of top of the key. Syracuse, big 3s. You can go on down the on down the line. You take any particular game that was close. What close games? Memphis, the Memphis game in the tournament. Going shot for shot with Boogie Ellis. Boogie made a big three. Boom, here comes Memphis. We go down to the other end. Quentin Grimes make a big three. Boom, here comes Houston. And then we made the last big one. But our kids believed. When you play for each other, you play for something bigger than yourselves. It's amazing what you can accomplish. And this team did. To go 28-4. When, once we left, wait just a second. Karen, I'm in a press conference. Karen, I'm in a press conference.
Oh, God.
What do you need?
The envelope Lauren gave you,
Yeah, I got it.
is it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, check it. Okay, bye.
I told her I had it. Let me make sure. Yeah. Married 42 years, boys.
Happy wife, happy life.
The reason we stay married, when she calls, I answer it. What was I saying? I don't remember. Remember what I was saying, Joseph? Coach,
I'm usually pretty good about that. I was distracted. I do not know. Maybe Jeff knows.
Mark asked me a question. Yeah, the bottom line is that these kids believed. They believed. They believed. When we left here on March the 11th, we played 8 games after that. We won 3 games, Tulane, Memphis, Cincinnati. And then as soon as the Cincinnati game was over, cut nets down, celebrated, media, all that stuff, jumped on a plane and headed to Indianapolis that night. Got in about 1 or 1:30, and as soon as we got in, it looked like team camp at the dorm. There's Alabama, who just won the SEC championship. There's North Carolina over there. It was like just all the teams that made the turn. We're all trying to figure out how to get to our rooms at the elevator. Then we all had to take COVID tests, and then we had to quarantine the next day until 6 o'clock, and they dropped meals off at our doors. It was just a weird experience. And then we played 4 games: Cleveland State, Rutgers, Syracuse, Oregon State, and then we played Baylor. And we went 7-1. It's just unbelievable experience. And I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to Scott Drew and that unbelievable team he had. And I've been here 7 years. We played Michigan that went to the finals. We played Kentucky that could have went to the finals. Without question, by far the best team in the 7 years we've played here was Baylor. And that's why they won the national championship. That was a great team.
I got time for one more question here, everybody, with Coach. We'll go to Chris Baldwin with Paper City. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, will you sit down with guys like Dejan and Justin and even Quentin and sort of give them advice, as they sort of transition, and how involved will you stay with those guys as they sort of try to move on in basketball?
Yeah, some more than others. I just make sure that they're making sure that they pick the right. I don't choose their representation. I've only had one player who I made sure I chose the agent for him because he needed my help. But in this day and age, I'm not going to say which ones, but a couple of them want me involved with interviewing agents. But I'll set it up. I've set it up like Dawson. I had agents come up to my conference room, and I'll sit in on them and make sure that they're asking the right questions. But with COVID, it'll probably be Zoom. We'll Zoom some guys in from my office, but make sure that their parents or whoever else they want involved, we'll set that up for them. But yeah, no, I stay involved. Nate, we got 3 guys in the NBA right now, Nate, Armani, and Dot. And I still hear from those guys. We're very proud of them. Rob Gray just signed a huge contract over in Monaco in the French league. He's doing great. Corey, Galen, Devin Davis, doing great. Breon Brady. Nurazana got married. Wes Van Beck is still playing. So once you're part of our family is what we have. We have a family. We don't have individual teams. Everybody's part of our family, and they feel comfortable in calling us and letting us know how they're doing. And I've had some calls, guys getting married, guys having babies, guys buying houses, guys buying new cars. They'll send me pictures of a lot of things. There's no telling what I'm getting. I just got a text a little while ago from a kid that started for me at Oklahoma in Final Four, Jabari Brown from the Virgin Islands. Yeah, he texted and watched the game and congratulated me. And guys from every team: Montana Tech, Washington State, Oklahoma, Indiana, Houston. My phone stays busy. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the relationship I have with all our former players.